I think we're doing it.
Hi, Genna.
Hi, Amy.
How are you?
I'm so good. How are you?
Just fantastic now that we're on our second podcast episode.
It's been a whirlwind. The first one really took off. It's been kind of crazy.
It
Uh,
is wild. Who would have ever thought?
Overnight success.
I would say so. Totally.
Calls from celebrities. Lots of brands trying to get on board. It's hard to keep up.
Honestly, we are just beating them off with a stick at this point. We got one comment from a stranger on our YouTube, didn't we?
Yeah. What did our stranger friend say?
Hold on, let me look it up to see exactly what it was. Hold on. Okay.
Incentive to engage.
Okay, so let's see. Let me see. Where are the comments? How do you work YouTube? Okay,
Amy, you found it?
yeah, please, Jenna, please, you go for it.
I will say, last time I looked, there were over 60 views, which honestly is kind of amazing. Only 20
Yeah,
of them
totally.
are Amy, and
Yep.
only 10 of them are me. So we really appreciate the other 32 of you for listening. Some of us forced by us.
Exactly. I did pretty much force it on several people. Thanks. Shout out to all the listeners. Appreciate you. And I did listen to it at least 20 times, I think. So a lot of that is me. I can't, so for some reason, I cannot find this comment, Jenna. But basically, this person, hey, we're glad you're listening. He said, if you had shown me pictures of these two women, I would have gotten which one was Amy and which one was Jenna wrong. I literally responded and said, say more. I'm very curious. If you're listening to this one, tell us more. What do you mean? Why do I seem like a Jenna and she seems like an Amy?
I mean, based on me looking at, so I should say, I don't usually use Zoom. I'm a Google Meet girl, but I use Zoom for therapy. And so my Zoom settings are typically set as my therapy settings, which is I don't want to be distracted by my own face. So I turn off self view. So it was only like 45 minutes into that episode that I realized I had no idea what my face was doing. And I turned on self view.
You look so
I know,
pretty.
I'm doing a better setup today. We're giving it I've got the camera at the high angle.
I also raised mine.
And I got to back and I was like, oh my, the chins. So anyway, I feel like, well, anyway, I don't know what he's saying.
I don't know either.
I
have no idea. But hey, but look, we're grateful for the engagement. Hey,
we're grateful for
a stranger listen to it.
Does it make you think of a Jack Handy deep thought?
I can't think of a deep thought on the spot.
It makes me think of the one about the dolphin names. Like there was a dolphin named Flippy and one named Hambone, and you were going to guess which one was better at flipping.
And it was Hambone. But it was Hambone.
Hambone.
I mean, like that exhibit A for why deep thoughts are the best ever. You think you know where it's going, you're wrong.
No
idea. And it's funny.
I will also add that Amy, who is basically serving 8 different roles on this podcast. She is editor, she is tech, she is all the things. She also put this on YouTube as well as Spotify. So the girls are on Spotify. So it's an easier place for you to follow, like, comment, review. It wouldn't let me review it because I didn't listen to it on Spotify. So apparently it makes sure you have listened before you do that.
That's good. Love that.
Yeah.
Yes, do it. And please appreciate my horrific AI image for episode 1. And I'm going to keep that up. So that's another thing to look forward to. What horror nightmare will AI create for this episode's image? Who knows at this point?
We love some bad AI art, so get in there. But we also like real art.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. We just don't have enough
real art. That's allowed.
Yeah, we just don't have any money to pay for real art. So
yeah. So do we want to remind folks what we do here? Amy is joining for the first time, which will be all my friends. I didn't send them the first episode because I didn't like how I looked. So
you're gorgeous. You're gorgeous. Okay, so basically, Genna and I, who are lifelong best friends since we were around 12 years old, we are every week going to have a random topic, which, by the way, is another way you can engage with this podcast, suggest some topics for us.
Wait, we've been friends for 25 years?
Holy shit.
It was more than.
It was more than that. It's more than that. We've been friends for longer than half of our
Our
lives.
friendship can legally rent a car.
It can. It can. Wow. You know,
Just
good.
the last age milestone other than like joining the AARP or whatever.
And you know, it's going to make it there soon enough.
Okay, sorry. That just like, I just ran the math.
Yeah. Our friendship is grown. It's a grown adult. So we are every week going to take a random topic and we're going to categorize subsets of that topic into the Dungeons and Dragons alignment chart. And I'm going to share my screen real quick for those audience members who are watching, or maybe I'm not. I don't see where that is either. Why am I having so much technical difficulty? Maybe you have. Oh no, here it is.
Yeah.
Where it always is. Okay, here we go. Share. Whoa, can you see it? Oh, it's so chaotic. It's so not working.
Yes, I can see it. Yeah.
You good? Okay.
I just love you asking me if I can see it.
I just wanted to make sure I was doing the right one.
You did it. Yeah, that was right.
Okay. Blah, blah, blah. All right, here we go. So this is what it looks like. It starts on the left-hand x-axis up there at the top with lawful, goes from neutral to chaotic. Lawful folks, they love the rules. Self-explanatory kind of. Order for order's sake. Follow the rules. And then as you move away, it goes a little less into the rules until you get to chaotic, which is like antagonistic to rules, like fuck rules for being rules. Then you go from lawful down, good, neutral to evil down that y-axis, a little more self-explanatory. Are you doing things for the good? Are you doing things for your own self and whatever? Are you doing things for evil?
Brilliant.
Bing, bam, boom. Anything you want to add, Jenna?
So we pick a different topic each week and we think about it on our own and decide where we would put things in the D&D alignment chart for that topic. So our episode 1, if you missed it, was cereal. It's a good one. Go back and give it a listen. But this week we are tackling 90s or early 2000s malls. So the malls of our youth.
Yes.
That's what we're tackling today and putting in the D&D alignment chart. So lots of nostalgia, I think, is going to come through on this episode. If it didn't last time, it's happening this time for sure.
I feel like this is a very elder millennial episode.
Oh yeah. I mean, malls were like, I just want to take a step back before we get into these. Like, malls were an epic part of our upbringing. Oh, it's absolutely. Like that's where you hung out all day on a Saturday or Sunday, or anytime in the summer. Like your parents just dropped you off there and left. They drove away with no. Maybe you had a cell phone. I don't know. If we had.
We did not have cell phones.
And sometimes we had camcorders.
we got to talk about that.
And we would just run amok at the mall with maybe $5 in our pockets. Yep. To just last us the entire day of whatever is the most you could do with $5 and a day at the mall, and try not to get, kidnapped.
And you know what? God damn it, Jenna, we did a lot.
Awesome.
And so leading up to this episode, I called my mom, I called Helen, and I was like, how many hours do you think me and Jenna Shellnut in total spent at the mall, at Town Center Mall specifically, because that was like our mall in our neighborhood.
Oh yeah.
My mom is
definitely based on Town Center Mall.
Town Center. Mine was absolutely 100% based on Town Center. So, shout out Town Center Mall. So my mom started laughing and she was like, days, weeks, months. Like she was like, you were there all the time. And she goes, and I don't even think you ever bought anything.
No, we didn't have money. We didn't buy anything because we didn't have money.
Of course we didn't buy anything. We didn't have any money at all. But we would just like walk around. It was like see and be seen. And like, you knew that certain boys were going to be at the mall. You know what I mean? And like, you would just like sort of casually, hope to maybe just, oh, fancy meeting you here. You know what I mean? Like, it was like a town square or something. You know what I mean? Town center. Oh my God.
Some photos from Amy and my growing up, and I don't have one from the mall. But I do have one circa the mall era. It's actually from a vacation we took with my family in the summer.
No kidding.
But so just in case anyone is watching,
Jekyll Island?
I'm gonna give
Look
you.
at that hat. Look at that hat.
Amy bought this hat at like a little store, oddly. And like,
Oh
what am
my.
I doing? Like, why am I so emo in this picture? That's
Okay,
for
first
anyone
of
thinking
all,
that that's me on the ground, and that's Amy kneeling behind me with
in
a
the hat.
silver fake skin cowboy hat that she just purchased on this trip for whatever reason.
Well, that's pretty embarrassing, I've got to say. Even though you were like already with the poses, that pose, I mean, you look incredible. You've got oh my God. And this is how I pose in every single picture, still to this day. Just like a chunk, just hands right down, straight
Oh
down.
my God.
That hat is insane. I think
When
I
we
was
get
doing
an,
it as a bit.
I loved it. When we get an Instagram, also like body dysmorphia, what the fuck? Like I thought I was so fat. It's so absurd. Like it's so crazy to look back
Well,
at.
honestly, I'm looking at these pictures and I'm like, dang, I was a little chunky.
Not.
Which is horrible, everyone.
Girl.
Beauty standards are ridiculous. I'm sorry, it's a bad joke, but
When we get a real Instagram going, maybe we can make use of my 2 girls 1 coup handle. We'll put these photos where you can see them better than through a camera on a Zoom that you might be listening to on Spotify with no visuals at all.
and then you can just go to our website once it's up or / Instagram.
Imagine
Genna,
how good this could be with just a little bit of support from you.
imagine if we had producers and editors because my editing is just downloading it and then uploading it up to Spotify. So people don't realize they're getting the full uncut, unscripted.
Oh yeah, there will be no edits.
No edits, sorry. No, we don't have time for that.
Um,
I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to say about malls before we start. I just can't communicate strongly enough, I think, like how big of a deal the mall was to us
right,
as kids.
right.
Okay, never mind. I know when I want to bring that up. Okay, put a pin in it. I'm zipping my lip. Let's get started, you think?
Yeah, let's get started. Are you gonna always start at lawful neutral? Is that, I mean, lawful good? Is that
Yeah,
the
let's do that. I think that.
starting? Okay.
Okay, so as a quick reminder, lawful good is going to be like your what's this called? Captain America. Let me see here and sharing my screen. So lawful good up there in the corner on the top left, and it's basically like you follow the rules because you're goody two shoes. That's how I think about it. Anything else you want to add, Genna?
I mean, I think you're following the rules and your intent is to do good by
Yeah.
doing so. It doesn't mean that that's always how it works out, but I think it's a combination of intent and then what guides it or
Right.
doesn't.
Right. And also, hey, another way to engage. Tell us why we're getting this wrong. Tell us how to
Yeah, we love a correction. Go ahead.
give us a correction or or an attaboy. We'll take them both. Okay, so do you want to go first with your store?
Sure, I can start us off. Lawful good. I'm on a notepad today. Okay. Okay, here's where I landed with lawful good. I had a lot. Actually, it was really hard this week to narrow down. Like I had multiples in each square. But where I ultimately landed after talking it out with several different folks over the course of the week is the Old Fashioned Cookie Company.
Oh, okay, let me hear it.
And part A, it's a mall staple. It's like a staple of all the malls. The cookies are delicious.
Oh my God.
They're
So good.
good. Samples almost always readily available. It was the only cake I requested for almost all of high school.
Same.
For my birthday.
Now, still.
But the thing, as I mentioned, you get dropped off at the mall. You have maybe $5 if your parents are being generous, and you have an entire day to exist. And we're also running around like hellions. We're burning a ton of calories just being crazy people in this mall. Yeah. And the good old fashioned cookie company, your $5 would go a long way. It would buy you something to fill your stomach over the course of this experience. So to me, it was like doing a good thing. And it's obviously not breaking any law. It's not doing any, there's nothing chaotic about it. It's just a cookie store. It smells great when you walk by.
Oh, it does. It does.
It was just a lawful good experience that was going to help you survive your 10 hours you're about to spend in a shopping mall with no money.
I like that because you could, for $5, you could get like 2 and a half double doozies probably.
Oh yeah. Oh my God, I loved a double doozy.
That was my favorite. That's literally on my death day meal plan is a double doozy. I have a death day meal plan, and that's one of the desserts on my death day. And that's probably like, what do you think? Like, I mean, so many cows, so that you're right. Like it's giving you cows to run on as a yeah. I love this. I love that pick. I love that pick.
What is your lawful good this week?
Okay. My lawful good store from Town Center Mall, but it could be applied to other late 90s, early 2000s malls. Brookstone.
Really?
Because to me, Brookstone. Okay, and so for those of you who don't really know, well, how do you describe it, Jenna? I think it's like a Gizmos and Who's It's and What's It store, like
it's like things you definitely don't need in your life. Like
yes.
it's taking everything and making it, adding a level of technology to it that makes it so silly. Yes. But like now we do it with everything. But back in the 90s and early 2000s, it was a little weirder.
A lot novelty. Like we could go into the Brookstone and lay down and sit down in a chair and get a massage and all that. And
that's the reason later, let me just tell you.
Oh good. And you remember or maybe I'm confusing this now with the Discovery Channel story. They're kind of similar, and they have like cool little gizmos and like perpetual motion machine and like something
robot
else.
Dog that's
yes. I think that was that store was a cool story. But I picked it as my lawful good because to me it's the dad store. Like when my dad would have to go to would have to come along to the mall for any reason, he would just like go park it in Brookstone and like wait for me and my mom to get done or whatever. And like as a kid, that is where I went to get every single gift for my dad for like Father's Day or his birthday or whatever, because that was like his only store that he gave and he cares about it all at the mall. And so, yeah, that's why Brookstone is my lawful good, because it feels like the dadliest store. And maybe, I guess my dad is very, very, very lawful good. So
no, I love that. I love that. It's like Mr. Durds' store. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Cliff.
Come get me when you're done shopping. I'll be in this massage chair.
Exactly.
They had a lot of things you could interact with. Like it was
exactly
a interactive experience there.
That's exactly right.
That's awesome. That's a good one.
Thank you.
Okay, tell us where we're going next. Pick our.
Let's do. Oh gosh, I'm so excited about all of these. Let's do neutral, lawful neutral.
Okay. You start us this time.
Okay, I picked.
Oh, I love this pick. Okay.
Oh, I'm excited to hear your pick, because my pick, I kind of was like, I went back and forth with this one a lot. But I picked the Gap.
Oh, okay. The Gap is on my chart. It's on my chart, but it's not in this space.
I love it.
It is in a neutral zone. It is neutral.
It is
neutrality.
I could see it. Okay, I like that.
Wait, which one are we doing? Wait,
lawful neutral. Lawful neutral.
Oh no, shit!
The Gap. You like the Gap too?
Yes. Nailed it. Sorry, I thought we were doing neutral good, so I was looking in the wrong.
No, lawful neutral.
Yes. It's so lawful neutral.
It's the most lawful neutral
of all the clothing stores. Like it is a quintessential mall experience. I also like, in case we have young listeners, I want to be clear, like we are not talking about these outdoor gorgeous amazing shopping mall experiences that exist today. These are like the big megaliths that are becoming just like weird dinosaurs of our culture. Ours, the one in Charleston that the only one I know of in Charleston that I used to live close to. Yeah. It's now like a medical facility. There's a Target, that's the only thing keeping it alive. It's where the Righteous Gemstones films their giant.
Oh shit! That show is so funny.
It literally says gemstone, like whatever. It's like it was like a Sears. It's like now.
That is so funny.
I think there's a police academy. I mean, it's wild. It's just like there's.
I don't think you should build things on top of a dead mall. I think that there's some bad. I think there's some bad vibes on the top of a dead mall.
It's like the mall of Stranger Things, but 10 years later. So it's like in case you need a visual reference.
A visual reference. If you're
you're not walking around outside, you are indoors all day.
So Helen and I went to Town Center Mall the last time I was back home, and it was sad, dude.
Was it? Oh,
it was sad. It was like not even a whisper of what it was in its heyday when we were bebop around. Okay, but the Gap. The
Yeah.
Gap. Lawful neutral. I have in my notes, these were the clothes your mom wanted you to wear.
And they're not breaking any rules with their clothing. It's like,
Right. It's like, these are clothes. To
here's
me, I think
denim. Here's white shirt.
here's denim, here's white shirt. That's another thing I have in my notes is I have literally my notes say like school uniform clothes. And I say, these are clothes.
All clothes.
Yeah.
These clothes will offend nobody.
Exactly.
No one will ask you about these clothes. So lawful.
No one will ask you about these clothes.
It's just occurring to me you can't spell lawful without awful.
Oh, that's gotta be that might be the name of this episode. Oh man,
Like,
sorry.
okay,
That got a good
we've
chuckle out of me.
infiltrated the adult population. We've convinced them that these are clothes. And it's like now it's like, what if they have children or babies that have a little
Ooh,
too much
baby
style?
Gap.
Then we made baby Gap. It's
Baby Gap.
that no one will ask about for your baby.
Oh my god. Also, do you remember? I feel like it was so brightly lit in there. I feel like the fluorescents were like extra high. I don't know. I just remember being like, I hated going in there. When my mom would be like, "Oh, why don't we try the Gap?" I'd be like, "Ugh."
I just feel like I remember one time they stood up for LGBTQIA plus rights,
Oh,
and
that's
they were
cool.
immediately like, there's backlash, and they're like, oh, sorry, never mind. Right,
Yeah,
just
way
denim
less cool.
and white t-shirts.
Right.
Forget
Ugh.
it. No backbone. We thought that was cool. Like,
Things for nothing, Gap.
things for nothing.
Things for nothing, the Gap.
It was like a big deal when they dropped the also.
I remember because there was a the, right?
Yeah,
There was a the
originally. Yeah.
I thought so.
Yeah. That's a great pick.
And look, I mean, of course, look at us, my
Nailed it.
belt already, just on number two. Okay, where are we gonna go next, Genna?
I guess since we're really covering this lawful column really well,
do it.
let's go ahead and let's not call it lawful evil.
Let's do it.
My lawful evil pick, which is not exactly what you were saying with Brookstone, but it is just the massage chairs in the general atrium area of the mall. Just sitting out in the open, usually like in one of the ends toward there ends up in department stores on any side, and there's just like a cul-de-sac basically.
Oh my god!
Here, this is where you'll relax. I hate massage chairs. I hate them. I don't like thinking about public ones. Like maybe it's fine if you have one in your house. Like I don't care. But like I don't want to go and like sit in something and think about who is relaxing in this space.
Well, and the chair was like needing that person's need. You know, that chair was getting in there.
Yes. And if that's not alarming enough, it's like it's chaos. You're in a fucking shopping mall. It's not
like, why are you there to get a massage from a chair? Was it coin operated too? You like put coins?
Yeah. And then on top of that, the only thing the thing does is it just like shakes you violently and like punches your back.
That's so true.
It's not a massage. It's not a massage. It's evil. It's evil.
I love it. I love that. That's a great pick. That's an incredible pick. And like the absurdity of that. Like young kids listening right now would be like, I'm sorry, wait a minute. You had like a giant indoor shopping center that you would like walk around and there were just random massage chairs in the middle that were going
on. Also, you could be like right next to somebody else who you don't know who's also doing that.
Yes, children, you heard me right. You heard Genna right. Incredible.
It's not breaking any laws. It's just evil. What is your pick for lawful evil?
All right, strap in, kids.
Of the mall.
My lawful evil is Abercrombie and Fitch.
Ooh, okay. Yes.
So
they almost made my evil grid, but they got kicked. But yes, please. Educate people.
You know, Abercrombie and Fitch back in the day was like, and it was too expensive though. You know what I mean? So it would be like you could go in there and, you know, like it's like I remember like every article of clothing that I had from Abercrombie and Fitch. Like I remember it with detail. you know,
You
like
treasured them.
you treasured them. I had this really cute, actually would be really in style right now, like a little sweater vest, like that had like a, you know, like a little pattern. You wear like a colored shirt underneath of it.
Oh yeah, I think I
And
remember that.
yes, I mean, it was like one of my favorite articles. And then I had this white puffy vest. You might remember that too. I got this white, you remember those puffy vests? And it was
Yes.
so
That
soft. And
was
it's
from
like,
Abercrombie?
that was from Abercrombie. But then
Oh.
we sent it to the cleaners because my mom made a huge deal out of, and you know, as she, it's a very expensive article of clothing. So it's like we have to take good care of it, right? And they ruined it. The dry cleaners ruined it. I only got to wear it like 1 or 2 times, and it got destroyed. It was a real tragedy. But
My
I
sister made one.
remember.
Oh
Yeah,
no.
what were yours?
Oh, the first shirt I ever got from there, and it's like truly what the coolest kids wore who had families who could afford to buy them these things. And the rest of us had to shop at Aeropostale.
Yep.
And my sister got me a shirt for 1 year for Christmas, my older sister, and I treasured that thing. I wore it once every other week to try and space it out from not just wearing it every day, and still got made fun of for wearing it too many times.
Kids are so mean, man.
Yeah, but it looked great on me. I
I
felt
think I
great.
remember this shirt.
It was navy, long sleeve navy with orange, like
I do
yeah.
remember it. Man, back in the olden days.
But it's like on top of those issues of it being way too expensive, and it was like, oh, sorry, you say more about
Oh
this.
yeah. Well,
You say more.
so the reason my whole thing is I feel like it's using an evil quote unquote law in an evil way. And what I mean by that is it was super body shamey. I don't
Yeah,
even think they had sizes over
right.
a large, maybe.
Yes. If
Maybe
you're
I
lucky.
don't even think they had an XL, but they might have had an XL. But that if they had an XL, that was absolutely the biggest size.
Yeah.
And they would have these
Tiny.
like young boys essentially completely shaved like their whole bodies and like oiled up and shirtless with the lowest rise jeans I've ever seen in my life, to the point where I remember my mom being like, this is obscene, you know, like, but it was so, I felt like it was capitalizing off of like really shitty, unrealistic, hateful body expectations and body norms. And so that's why for me it is my lawful evil.
And I mean, on top of that, it was dark, loud, like they were blasting.
It
They're
was
just
so
like
dark
a
in there.
psychological experiment with you in there. And then they had that male cologne that they were just like
Oh,
bouncing out.
oh
Like it was truly like it felt like warfare, like some sort of
yeah,
tactical
yeah,
psychological warfare they were doing when you shopped in that store. It
yeah.
was so insane.
It was like they did a great job of making you feel bad about yourself and making you feel like you had to buy their clothes to feel better about
Yeah.
yourself.
Yeah.
And that's some evil motherfucking shit.
Did you watch the documentary?
I didn't because I was just so because that guy. I mean, apparently it all of the things we're saying were like true and so much worse because the guy was like some white supremacist, fat
Yeah.
phobic piece of
Like
shit.
everything you know, and
Surprise,
also they're
surprise.
racist. Yeah, yeah. Pretty.
Yeah, right. And also they're racist. Oh, good. Add it to the list. Jesus. So yeah, fuck them. Even though it was like, and that was a place where when we would, when we would like go around where we might be like the guys might be there. That's one of the
Oh yeah,
spots.
that's definitely
We
where the
went.
guys are gonna be. Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
I did like that cologne though. What was it? Woods?
I felt like if you said it, I would know it, but I
Yeah, I think it was Woods, but every boy, I feel like every boy in our did kids even wear cologne anymore? I mean, I don't really know. That every kid in our middle school, every boy in our middle school had Woods cologne or whatever it was called from Abercrombie. Well, not kids who could afford it, but I feel like Lance Marshall was one, and there was a
oh
couple more.
wow, calling out my first and last name.
Sorry, Lance. Jimmy Sattler for sure had it.
Oh my god.
So it was like the cool guys, you know what I mean? The cool guys had it.
Yeah. Who weren't spending their like $160 ration at
Yeah.
Abercrombie Fitch on a article of clothing. They were investing in a cologne.
Damn, I didn't even think about it like that. You're right.
That's a flex.
That's a flex. Totally. Oh, all right, you picked this one, didn't you?
Yeah.
I think should we just go neutral? Down?
Yeah, let's go
Let's do
neutral.
it.
Neutral good.
good?
I went first last time, so you start us off.
Okay, so this is where I put the American Cookie Company.
Really?
Yes. And I'll tell you why. Obviously, I mean, it's good. There's no give me a break. Like, I don't need to argue about that part. But I said neutral because what I read when I read up about the American Cookie Company, they claim to have been the first to ever create the cookie cake.
And you're not
And
buying?
that was breaking some laws, breaking some rules because
Oh,
a
to
cake
do
isn't a
it.
cookie. They
Okay.
did it. The cake isn't a cookie isn't a cake, but they did it. You know what I'm saying? They did it. Those bastards, those gorgeous bastards. And I remember the way that you said it last time was they only break rules for good reasons and just as long as everybody's having fun. And I'm like, what is a better reason to break a rule than to create the cookie cake? And so yeah. And actually when I called Helen and asked her about like, you know, how long do you think me and Jenna spent at the Town Center Mall? She was like, "You're probably eating one of those double doozies." Like she remembers
from Publix sometimes.
they're so delicious.
So good.
Do you remember my elopement cake? Me and Eric's elopement cake was literally it was cookie cake stacked on top of each other with icing in between.
Wow.
Yeah, Publix did it. It was really good.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Okay, Jenna, what's your pick?
I picked one of my favorite stores from childhood at the mall.
Ooh.
I like almost even like younger than our friendship, the Natural Wonder store
Oh, that's such a good one.
with all the rocks.
Yes.
I loved that store. First of all, that store's like trying to make children fall in love with nature and the world and the planet and see the beauty in it. It's like such a good intention of the store. It's a little out there and hippy dippy. It's like, yeah, you can get your salt lamp. You can get some it's like early, like you can get healing
crystals
or whatever, but we're not gonna make you feel uncomfortable about it. Suburbs, we know you're Great Lakes AF. He's calling it Natural Wonders, and it's just like beautiful. And it was like,
I had totally forgot about the Natural Wonder store. I hadn't thought about that in years and years.
I had a rock collection that was excellent. And oddly, my sister kept all of those and she just gave some of them back to me when I visited her because she was like, these were yours. And we remembered, like, because she would have a hematite and I would have a hematite. She would have a tiger's eye and I would have a tiger's eye. But we knew which one was which because you were so intimately like aware of these stones that were like such a part of your childhood that I was like, she's like, oh yeah, that one's yours. And I'm like, yeah, I remember the way it shaped. I remember how it felt in my little Genna hand.
That is one of the sweetest things I've ever heard in my life. Like,
also, once again, a lot of my choices are based on having no money and places you could buy something for no money. And they did not, the rocks were very affordable.
Not anymore. Not out here in
Los
Angeles.
A cookie and a rock for $5 for sure.
Yeah, you could. That is so sweet. And I can't believe I forgot about that store. It's such a good store. And I love that story about you and Blevin. Shout out to Blevin.
I think it was there by the time that we were trolling them all in like our adolescence, but it was
I
definitely there when I was young.
I remember it. So probably in the very scant few years of my life before I knew you. And was conscious.
12.
Yeah, exactly. Whoa is me.
Okay, true neutral?
True neutral. All right, what you got?
This time.
Oh, I start?
Oh no, you're right, I do. Okay. So I really like my pick for this, but I tried to explain it to my husband. He didn't totally get it until I related it to tarot, which is the thing I do. My pick for this is almost every mall had this feature, and it was some sort of fountain that was usually in the middle, like centrally located in the mall, and made beautiful sounds and made the whole mall smell like chlorine, which was probably better than whatever the alternative smell was. And you could wish, you could throw, you brought whatever change you landed with at the end of the day before your parents came and picked you up. You might throw whatever your highest denominator of change into this fountain and make a wish. And the reason I think it's true neutral is because like whether, the fountain's not passing any judgment on your wishes. It's not, what deciding whether or not the wishes come true. Everyone can make a wish. You all have an equal opportunity for your wishes to be real. So it just felt like this like very very neutral chance place in the center of the mall.
I love that. And I hadn't thought about mall fountains in a long time, but you're right. Like I remember like going and just flicking a little penny in there, and what wonderful whimsy. What wonderful mall whimsy, Gosh, I love that pick. I'm trying to think if I remember any of my wishes ever coming true. I did end up having Jimmy Statler as my boyfriend, so.
I was probably wishing for better clothes most of the time. What was your true neutral?
Okay, I think you're gonna laugh at this one. I picked Charlotte Russe.
As true neutral, you are going to have to explain. Because if that lady got on my grid, she is in the right column. It is chaotic energy across the board.
And I can see it. And I can see that. I gave her true neutral because it was like, hey, what do you need? What do you need? Because I got it. You got to go to a confirmation. I got that. You want to go out? I got that.
What confirmation look were you finding at Charlotte Russe? That store was straight up like, are you 12 and you want to look like you might be a streetwalker? Then here is where
you just layer. You just layer,
Oh, a cardigan. You're just putting a cardigan on it and calling it a day.
You're just putting a little blazer on top.
And all respect to streetwalking people. Like sex.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Celebrate empowerment. Pay your sex workers. I'm all about it. But
no, I was like, I felt like I go in there anything, any occasion, whatever my need was. You know what? I bet Charlotte Russe has something that's going to work for this. And talk about affordable. You get
everything was $12. I swear, it was like everything. Nothing was more than 20.
No, absolutely not. And I would have really sweated over spending $20 at that store. I've been like, dang, these have got to be the most excellent stretchy black flare pants I've ever tried on in my life. You know what I'm talking about?
What is on your mug?
Oh, this is Eric's face, my husband.
Adam Lambert.
Oh my God.
I only see the hair, like a little bit of the face, and it looked like I was like, "Did she Adam Lambert mug?"
That's my handsome husband. I made these for a surprise birthday party for him a couple of years ago, and I cut each of these out. That's a sticker.
Whoa.
And so I'm like, look, we're keeping these.
It's excellent. Charlotte Russe, true neutral. Who would have thought? They should be proud.
So what's your true neutral? You said.
Yep, wishing fountains.
Perfect, incredible.
On neutral evil.
Oh, neutral evil. Let's talk a little bit about, I feel like neutral evil is one that I have to remind myself, like, okay, what are we really saying when we say neutral evil? And what I have is neutral evil characters, also known as malefactors, are motivated by their own self-interest and are willing to do whatever is necessary to achieve their goals, even if it means acting in an evil manner. So I have for the neutral, evil, that their main motivation is gain. Oh, I found something I thought was really helpful where they did the evils and they did like what the main motivation is for each. Ooh. And so for lawful evil, it was power. For neutral evil, it's gain. And for chaotic evil, it's destruction. And I actually thought that was pretty helpful.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see that for all of them. That's very cool.
Yeah, I found it on Reddit. I'm going to have to do some more work. I was telling Eric, I was like, by the end of this, me and Genna are going to be like experts in the alignment chart.
Very good. We're probably already top 5%.
We'll have to do a TED Talk. Okay, so my neutral evil is those perfume sprayers in the department stores that you have to.
Whoa.
Because they're focused on their own self-interest and personal gain. And look, I can't blame them. They're trying to make that commission. They're trying to sell that perfume. But right? It is evil to just be spraying that shit on people as soon as they walk through the door. So that is like my pick for neutral evil is the perfume people in the department store.
That's amazing. the department stores, like, I never felt like I belonged there. And I know that's because we were
Mhm.
children, but I don't even feel like as an
Yes.
adult. It was like they were so strange. It was like they were already outdated or something, I think, at the time of our youth.
Yeah, I think that's right. I think like when my mom, was like a buyer for Riches back in the heyday, like the real heyday, I think, of malls. And it was like high end experience and somebody be
Right.
playing the piano. And yeah, it's kind of like almost makes me think of air travel. Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
how it like, oh, this is like really fancy. And now it's like, you're on a bus essentially flying through the air. And you just hope it's not a Boeing.
Oh god. You sure do. Um,
Yeah, what's yours?
I love that pick. I think that's really good. I
Thank
had
you.
forgotten about the perfume. I'd stayed out of department stores in my picks because I was just like, I don't. My only department store memory is when we were doing like basically jackass videos before that was a
Yes,
and
and
you
once we get to chaotic good, we have to talk about that.
you anyway, that was all my department store. We basically were kicked out of department stores.
Maybe we should just talk about it now. Okay, because okay, you go, and then we'll talk
My neutral evil, which I do think works with your
about it.
motivations,
Mhm.
meaning is the pet store at the mall.
Oh no, I think I blacked those out because now I know how terrible.
A lot of people would. I mean, at first, yeah,
Yuck.
because it's like personal gain is like it doesn't matter what you're doing to these animals. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter where you got them from or like how they've been treated or even where they're gonna go and what kind of life they're gonna have beyond here. It's just about making that money. And
Oh
it's
my
cool. And
god.
adopt, don't shop. I'm a huge
Me
fan of
too. And look, here's one right here. This is an adopt.
he's such a good boy. That's
He's a good
Amy's
boy.
little Gizmo, and he's so handsome.
He's
And he
very
also doesn't
handsome.
look he looks like he could be brothers with my pit bull Rutabaga, honestly.
Rutabaga. And he's just been sitting here at my feet looking at me the whole time because he just follows me around the house and is like, "Mom, can you get on the couch so we can cuddle?" He's like, "I can't cuddle with you when you're like that."
They're so sweet. They're
Okay.
so sweet.
Oh my god, look what he's doing now. He was trying to no, it's
Oh
okay.
my
He was,
god.
he was like,
Yes.
"Wait, stop. Don't stop petting me."
I love
Uh, should we Okay, well, that is a really good pick, and I honestly had forgotten that they had those. I haven't thought about them in so long because now it seems kind of like,
it's really
"Whoa."
gross. Yeah.
Yeah,
People work
you
like
know?
directly with people who are breeding. No, I don't know many. I mean, other than you can get like fish and gerbils and stuff at like a pet store.
Right.
You
Oh
can't usually get
gosh.
like puppies or kittens or
And they
rats.
had puppies. I mean, they
Oh
had
yeah.
puppies.
That's
Ugh.
all they had mostly, because once they got too old, they couldn't sell them and they would just get rid of I don't know what they would do with them also.
Oh, Gizmo, no. Yeah, hate those places.
It was very bad. It was right across from the massage chairs also. I'm like, how are you relaxing to the sounds, the desperate cries of puppies?
No, that's terrible. Capitalism, Jenna, it's capitalism.
Okay, chaotic, good. I feel really strongly about this pick. This was the first one that like when I thought of it in my head, I knew where it belonged on the grid. And I was like, nothing else is getting this spot. Chaotic good to me is, I didn't even know the name of it at the time, but through research, we think it's called the Sweet Factory, which is that
Oh.
small candy store. Where you
Oh, oh,
get a little plastic bag and you can just get however much you want of however many different kinds of things you want. Although
yes.
it's slightly terrifying because once again, no money. This is like if I got a 20 for the day.
Right,
Because you
right.
were a little scared, and then you go and weigh it and see, and then
Yep,
you go, oh, I can get $4 more of
yep.
Sour Patch Kids. Give me a minute. But the joy of just being able to get like, oh, but I just really want one Thin Mint, or I just really want. It was like it felt so invigorating to
Mm,
just
mm,
build your own candy blend exactly the way you want it. But
right.
it's also just like that's pure chaos. Like what on earth?
Total chaos.
Like what is happening?
I love this pick. I love this pick. And it's like you're saying, you're like living on the edge, right? You're like, it's like when you're at the gas station and you only have a 10, and you're like, I gotta make sure that this comes in at 9.99 or just
Right.
one, because you're playing it fast and loose, you know what I mean? But it's for delicious candy that you are curating. Curated candy. What could a kid love more? It made me feel like I was going into Willy Wonka's
It was,
chocolate
yeah,
factory.
the closest I ever
Yeah.
got to my golden ticket, certainly.
Yeah, right, totally. Other than this podcast. Um, love that pick. My chaotic good is food court samples. So talk about not having any money. Like Jenna and I would like occasionally be like, okay, we've been walking around for a while. Let's do a tour of the food court. And we would just like walk around the food court and get samples from every spot. And then you just go and you walk around a little bit more and you come back and they've changed shifts or because literally we would spend all day there. Or like you'd see another person so they wouldn't recognize you. You could milk samples out of the same place all dang day. And I also think that that was probably the first time and place I ever tried, and I'm using air quotes here, Chinese food or any sort of like Asian cuisine was like the Americanized, sesame chicken that we would get on those toothpicks in the food court. So that feels chaotic because yeah, we were eating for free basically and gaming the system and it was all for good and it was some tasty morsels in that food court at Town Center Mall.
That's an excellent pick. That is chaotic good. 100%. It's very good. It's also like, yeah, I think that's like really shaped for probably a lot of suburban cultures' ideas of what other countries' food
No,
is.
that's really true. It was like the most exotic food, and I'm sure that that's not. I shouldn't be calling it that. That's how it felt in that
Right,
moment in
because
that
we've
space,
never
that
been
time.
exposed to any
That's
sort
right.
of like
That's right.
interesting cuisine, so that like it's like, ooh, this authentic Italian saboro.
Yes. Yes. This is a genuine, authentic Italian restaurant.
Yes, I'll add a meatball on the side with a little package of Parmesan, please.
And like there was whatever was a precursor to like a Panda Express, I would say was in there. And I think there were probably like a couple of different like Americanized Chinese
Yeah,
spots in the food court. And there was a Chick-fil-A for sure. And there was a Sbarro and there was an Auntie Anne's.
I know. Auntie Anne's was almost my cookie company, but I just thought the
Oh
cookie
man,
was
talk
one
about a
last.
good smell. Like the smell of Auntie Anne's, holy fuck. But yeah. Do you remember any other food places that were there?
I mean, I know my later mall experiences had the Subway, but I don't know if that was like an early. Did
No,
they?
that did. It
Some of
did.
them had restaurants. Like I think there was like a Ruby Tuesdays or
Oh
something.
yeah. And that would be like a treat, you
Yeah,
know what
that's like we are rolling for some reason.
we Ruby Tuesdays. Even though honestly, I'd go to Ruby Tuesdays today. I fuck with that kind of fast cash, babe. I love an appetizer sampler. You know what I'm saying? Like that is my fucking jam.
It is the best bang for your buck on any, like it's like you get so much food for such a low price point. It is kind of absurd.
The value is crazy.
Like, they're just upcharging for the word entree, and I'm not falling for it.
No. And we get a bite of everything.
But of everything.
We get a bite of everything. Give me a break. It's a perfect way to eat. It's like it's pinchos, but suburbia.
And chain restaurants is a good one.
Yeah. Oh, we've got to do chain restaurants.
It's a good one. Okay, moving down
Wait,
into
did you do your chaotic good?
Mhm, the Sweet Factory.
Oh my God, what is wrong with me?
Well, we kind of it's like it's confusing because it's like
Because
anyway, you're
we're
fine.
flipping flopping.
Yeah.
Because I do remember everything you said about the Sweet
I
Factory.
have it on a spreadsheet, so I'm writing it down as we go, so it helps me know. So
Okay, sorry.
don't feel bad.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
Um, chaotic neutral. You go
Is it
first.
okay? I
I kind of feel like we could be the same on this
We
one.
might have the same one on this. Did you pick Hot Topic?
No, but I am in the pocket for that, but that is not what I picked.
Ah, so this is gonna be super corny, and I'm not cool, and I've never been cool, but I will say, I no, not really, not cool, I no, and it's okay. I'm okay. I've gotten to the point in my life where I don't need to be cool. But I remember But I guess that was all to say, this is embarrassing what I'm gonna share. But you know, I apart from Jenna was like a really big part of sort of bringing me out of my shell and like kind of
Which is insane because you were so far out of your shell that I didn't know. I was like, should we look for your shell somewhere? Are you worried about where your shell is?
well, it was like I felt like there was this sort of like path for me that was like an easy sort of like just be, you know, Abercrombie and Fitch and doing these things um but and it I don't know, when I realized at some point it didn't really fit me, it didn't really feel right. And I think Jenna was a big part of that. And as corny and cheesy and stupid as it is, Hot Topic was like a gateway drug for me a little bit because it was like, oh, you know, like this is a place that's different. You know, this is a place that has like studded wallets and studded belts and nose rings and, you know, all these band t-shirts. Who are these bands, you know? Yeah, like in like temporary hair dye and you know it just felt oh and like the like gloves, you know, like the fingerless gloves that would like
Oh
come
my
up
God.
here, you
It's
know, like
mixed
all
in
of
my
this
closet
stuff.
now. Yeah.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Other than this very Gap sweater that I happen to be wearing for this episode.
I love it.
A pure Gap
Uh,
moment.
but I just remember stepping in there and being like, whoa, like there is like a whole, I don't have to just sort of like be like everybody else when everybody expects me to be like there are other ways and things to be. So and I felt like it was a non-judgmental sort of space. Like I never felt because I was like pretty preppy, like walking in there. I didn't feel like anybody was like, get out of here. This isn't for you. It was like a place like anybody for anybody. And that was when I think it was like the precursor to hipster. Was you remember it was like scene. Remember how it was like,
Mm.
oh, that's scene. That's like so scene. Like that's what we would say.
Yeah.
And okay, so I will say that because of this pick and because of our topic for like early 2000s, I went on an AI music generator and created a like theme song for that podcast. And do you mind if I play it?
Oh my God. I can't wait. I cannot wait.
So I'm gonna
I'm so
play
excited.
only I'm literally and I already like practiced this. I already did this. I'm only
What do
gonna play
you mean you already practiced it?
well, I like went through the song because I'm telling you, this is a 2.5 minute long full song. Okay. Like this is a full song. And so I'm not gonna play the full one here because I don't want to spend 2.5 minutes doing that.
Mm.
But it's gonna be 53 seconds of this song. And before I start it, let me say, I wrote ridiculous, silly lyrics just to see like what it would pop out with. So I didn't. So I want to say like, don't at me with about the lyrics. But
You wrote the lyrics?
yeah. I wrote the I wrote the
Oh,
lyrics.
you
There's
wrote lyrics for a 3-minute song?
oh, but it's mostly instrumental. So it's like 2 stanzas I wrote. And I will say though, before we listen to it, Eric, my husband Eric, I made him listen to it and he was all like, God, and he has been like humming it, singing it. He can't get it out of his head. He literally asked me to play it. He's like, "Oh, well, can you just like play the breakdown for me?" Which we are not going to hear the breakdown on this, but I'm going to link the entire I actually made 2 songs. So I'm only going to play the best one, but I'll link them both in our stuff and I'll put a little poll and people can vote on which one they like the best. But are
Awesome.
you ready? This song is called D&D with A and G Malls, but it's not about malls. So it's just D&D with A and G. Okay, are we ready?
I'm so ready.
Okay, let me know if you can't hear it. I'm going to start it now.
Wait, it's kind of like in and out.
Can you hear it?
I can't really hear it.
Okay, I'm so sorry to our listeners.
Oh, I can't wait to hear it.
I'm gonna send it to Jenna because I'm sure because it'll be recording on my end because it's recording like, you know, So everybody on the thing probably heard it. What I probably should do, damn, I fucked this up. Sorry, guys. This is why you need, oh shit, that's not right. This is why you need to support us so that we don't have things like this. Okay, maybe if I share my screen and also do advanced
Share the audio when you share your screen.
audio. Yes, computer audio. Ha ha.
Mute.
You're gonna mute. Okay, so we're gonna do this again. Sorry for our listeners. You're gonna have to hear it twice. But shout out. Okay, so let me say the way that I created it is that I wrote these silly little lyrics and I put in the lyrics, and then it was like, what style of song? And I said screamo. Okay, so give me a thumbs up if you can hear it. I'm starting it right now.
Come alive. Come alive. TNT with A&G. Let's discover who we're supposed to be. While chaotic evil spreading misery. Come alive. Come alive. Come alive. TNT with A&G. Let's discover who we're supposed to be. While chaotic evil spreading misery. Come alive. Come alive.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Can you believe it?
Oh my God.
AI wrote that song in like 3 seconds.
I can't wait to hear like what copyright infringement we've like who we've stolen from to create this, but it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing.
Thank you. And what they're saying is come align. Come
Oh,
align.
I thought you were saying come alive, but I like that too.
Come align.
Align. So
So
good.
So listeners, that's a little taste of Amy's music, Amy's music preferences back in the days of Smith Middle School and McEachern High School. Shout out Smith Spartans, shout out McEachern.
Don't look up their mascot.
No, no, don't look up the mascot. It's hateful and terrible.
That's amazing. I love it. I love it so much. I'm not surprised it's stuck in Eric's head.
It's pretty good, right?
It's really good.
Well, I'll play the rest as our outro.
Great. Great. Okay. And not unlike your pick, my chaotic neutral is Spencer's.
Oh, yes. Honestly, I thought about yes. I love Spencer's.
It was a wild store. I mean, it was a chaotic store. Like the range of items you might find in this store that got a little bit shadier or dicier the farther back you went in the store. Like
right.
there is a point in the back of the store where I feel like you could get a lava lamp or a dildo and they were right next to each other.
Or a dildo lava lamp.
And that is cool. And if someone's making that, I want one. That sounds awesome.
Maybe that can be part of our merch.
I want you to put that in the AI generator.
Oh, that's it. That's it. That's what the AI generator is going to do. Hold on, let me write a note on that.
Oh my God.
Lava lamp. Lava lamp dildo. Okay, got it.
Although it might get flagged on Spotify for that image, but maybe it'll
create something. It'll be it'll create something. I'll make sure to add tasteful into the prompt.
Oh my gosh. But to me, Spencer's, it was like it wasn't doing anything, like there was no negative ill intent of it. It was just sort of like a chaotic store that had sort of the most random things that you were like, should this be in this store? Who's the target audience of this store?
That's a great question.
Who was
the target audience?
No, for sure. But like there's also a lot of this luring children, like a lot of bright lights and bright colors, I remember.
Yeah. I love Spencer's though. That was a great store.
That brings us to
shit.
Chaotic Evil.
Our chaotic evil. And then we're gonna do lightning round.
And then we have a lightning round. Todd, Oh, I have one. I have a good one because I couldn't figure out where to put it, and I really wanted to put it somewhere. Todd had a pick he wanted me to cover, my husband Todd.
Oh, love that. Love it.
He tried to argue that it was a better chaotic evil, and I wouldn't let him, but I was like, I'll include it as your bonus pick. So Todd's pick for chaotic evil is the tables in the food court. Because they were always disgusting in a pure state of chaos. A lot of times, there were times the mall was so full, it was like sort of the airport, like you couldn't find a table to eat at.
It was like that.
And so you're like trying to,
and they're so close.
You're so close.
Like you're having to like with this food.
It was awful. And and so I had to agree with him. It does feel like chaotic evil.
Yeah, I agree.
But I did not think it was as strong as a pick as my pick for chaotic evil, which is the Victoria's Secret store, particularly during the semi-annual sale.
Ooh.
Victoria's Secret is obviously evil. All of the reasons that we know, for women's body issues, for lack of inclusivity, for like it being linked to Jeffrey Epstein, for all of the reasons.
Also their bras are not comfortable.
Oh my God, yes.
Torture devices.
Yes. And way too expensive and all of the things. But ultimately, it became chaotic evil during the semi-annual sale, where they just put everything in literal plastic storage bins for you to rummage through and try to get a discount on a bra that your ladies rocking A's back in the 90s and 2000s so desperately needed.
Yeah, man.
All men cared about back then.
I mean, seriously, dudes, do better. Really gross. Honestly. Yeah, I like that pick a lot.
It was but I was willing to go in there, throw bows, and get good bras at a very cheap discount. And then it happened, I don't wear bras at all anymore, and it's really nice.
Oh God, don't you love not wearing a bra?
Awesome.
It is awesome. And I like taking the bra off.
I never put one on. I don't think I have one that fits me correctly.
Love it. I love that. Reboobing it. My chaotic evil. My chaotic evil is Claire's, because they were out here just piercing people's kids.
Yes.
Piercing people's children. Like we could have walked in there at like 13 years old and got our own piercing wherever we wanted it without any kind of adult like input whatsoever. And look, okay, I'm not, when I say evil, I'm not attaching a judgment. It is what it is. You know what I mean? Like, I don't necessarily think that people should be what am I trying to say? Like all clutching their pearls about people having, getting piercings. But I think it is wild that we could just like go to the mall as a child and be like, yeah, pierce me up, and they come at you with those little guns. Like they're actually more like staplers,
Yes.
like
it looks like a hot glue gun. I got my lobes pierced there like 4 times. They always got infected. And ultimately like a dermatologist had to do it properly. I'm not against piercings. I have a ton of piercings. I love them. Like
I love your piercings. This one's my favorite.
Go and get it by a professional person.
Right. Like there's a kid themselves probably earning minimum wage working at Claire's piercing your kids' ears at
dotting you with a Sharpie and then just being like,
exactly. Like that is so chaotic. I just can't even.
And also that you could buy like a sheet of like 50 studs made from some like mystery plastic.
I didn't even remember that.
$2. It'd be like, here, you can get all of these.
Well, and remember the body glitter you had? You had that fabulous body glitter. Do you remember it? But that wasn't from Claire's. But that's what it reminds me from with that roller.
Oh, I did that thing.
Oh, I loved that stuff. Oh my God, I thought that was so cool.
From
we got ready together like a lot through the years.
Oh my God. Okay, what's your lightning round?
Okay, so for the lightning round, I have a couple. Okay, we haven't heard Bath and Body Works.
I know, I was surprised. I kept trying to find the right place for that.
Me too. Because Bath and Body Works, this is another thing. That was a big part of like that era, because it was like everybody had their scent that they liked of the products, right? You know, there was like I looked some up. There plumeria, freesia, juniper breeze, country apple, vanilla bean. I mean, like I felt like it was like, because you could get, that was the first place I remember where it was like you shop by scent, and you could get
Right.
like a ton of products with the same scent, and it felt like, oh, this is my, you know,
It was
scent.
like the Vera Bradley of smells.
Yeah, it was like that. I don't really know who Vera Bradley is.
You did everything by patterns. It was like you picked your pattern and then you had to have everything in your
Oh,
pattern.
right.
You had to have
Oh,
the
yes. Yes,
Is it
I
not
remember.
Vera Bradley? No, am I
That is
doing
Vera Bradley. No, I'm just,
I'm like, is
you
that
know,
Lily Pulitzer? I don't know. It was a lot of Paisley.
Paisley. Oh God. No, now it's all coming back. It's all coming back to me now. A la Celine. Shout out Celine Dion.
I think that one's really hard. It's almost like,
I
I
know
mean,
it's unfair for me to ask you.
oh, where I had it, I'm trying to see because I had it on here somewhere and then crossed it out. I think I oddly had it in kind of like a true neutral space, but that didn't feel right either.
No, I think that's where I had mine when
Oh.
I was playing around with it. And then I went with Charlotte Russe.
Yeah, obviously.
Like you do.
Same.
Same.
Here's the one I was struggling with so much that I would love you to place is the Disney store. Do you have a
Yes, I have that on my list. I love the Disney
I did
store.
too, but then you couldn't afford anything. Like it was
Nothing.
so expensive, but it also just felt like this tiny little bite of Disney, and it was so
Yes.
magical.
I loved, remember how they, in the middle, they had a big, huge pile of stuffed animals, like so big, so high, it almost went to the ceiling. And
Yeah.
I love a stuffed animal. I still, Eric got me a big, huge body pillow that now I like. If Ripley isn't in bed with me, I hold the body pillow, and then at like 3 a.m, Ripley click, clack, click, clack, click, clack. And then she comes over and she goes, let me in. And so then I push the body pillow out, and then me and Ripley hold each other. Basically, I just do whatever she tells me. But like,
Like a character from every like witch horror movie
yeah,
apparently.
definitely. She's my familiar. But she does, she's like click, clack, click, clack.
You tried cutting her nails?
Yeah, but she has those black nails and the quick as
Oh,
I
it's
can tell,
hard.
you know, and so I get nervous. But I love a stuffed animal. All of that to say, I love like having like a, you know, and Eric is anti-cuddle, so fuck him, am I right? I think for the Disney store, I'm gonna have to say, shit. So there's a lot of considerations here, right? Because Disney, do we love Disney? You know what I mean?
I do know.
And that makes me want to do Lawful Evil, because I feel like it is like the Empire. You know what I mean? Like in Star Wars, right? Like
There are so many rules. I mean, like everything is like
so many rules. Also, like I feel like they probably don't pay artists enough, you know, and things of that nature. And I'm pretty sure Mickey Mouse was based on some racist trope back in the day. And I'm pretty sure Walt Disney, look, we are gonna get a defamation suit or something, but I don't know. I, from what I've heard, Walt Disney may have been a racist. So so I'm gonna go Lawful. I love the store.
yeah.
But the older I get, the more jaded I get about Disney. So I think I'm gonna do, at the time, it would probably have been like a Lawful Good. And now I'm afraid I'm gonna have to flip-flop it over to Lawful Evil.
Mm. I think that's valid. I struggled with all of those terms.
Wait, did you say where you put Bed Bath and Body? You put it in True Neutral?
I think that's the best place I can figure out for it.
Yeah.
I don't think it's really following any laws. I don't think it's really breaking any laws.
Mm,
I
mm,
it's hard for me to say it's particularly good or evil.
Okay, yeah, that's right. Then you're left with True Neutral,
Yeah.
you know?
You get a chapstick there. Like
At
a really
a chapstick, but like a Burt's Bees.
yeah.
You introduced me to Burt's Bees, or did you introduce me to? I think you introduced me to the concept of putting things on my lips. I don't think I had any chapstick or lip balm until I met
You've
you.
never had a chapstick? That can't be true.
No, you know, Helen and I didn't. She didn't. That's not. That wasn't really. I don't. She was never wearing chat. She is. I don't think I've ever seen her put on chapstick. Can I tell you one really fast, ridiculous story?
Yes?
So when we were home last, or like when Erica and I were home for the elopement party, and I had this pair of shoes, and it like I will wear a pair of shoes. I'll wear anything until it just like totally falls apart.
Yeah.
And so I had my pair of clogs, and I loved them because like shove your feet right in there and go. But they had like the bottom had come off, like and I Target, great shoes at Target. And so the bottom had come off, and my mom was like, "I'll glue it for you. I'll hot glue it for you." And so she like got her hot glue gun out and was like gluing it for me. But then she wanted to have something to squish it down, like she put the hot glue, so it's like a bottom flap of the shoe. You put the hot glue, and you're sticking it back up to the top. But she wanted to put something around it to hold pressure. And so she was like, "Go in that drawer and grab a rubber band, and we'll put a rubber band out of it." And so I went in and I grabbed the rubber band, and it's like so slippery, slimy. And I'm like, why is this like wet? Like, this is like wet. And she took it and she like put it around my shoe. And then she was like, "Oh, it's probably the coconut oil spoon that I have in that drawer." And I was like, "What? Like, what do you mean?" And I opened the drawer, and she just keeps a spoonful of coconut oil, like just in this drawer, like loose in the drawer, so that when she needs it, she can open it up and do a little, and then put it on her lips. And so everything in this drawer is now totally covered in coconut oil that my mom then puts on her lips. So that's that's where I'm coming from.
God. I can't believe I've never heard this story.
This just happened.
Oh my God.
I mean, this was like this year. This literally just happened. That's why you haven't heard the story. It's fresh off the presses. Helen is in the chaos category for sure.
That is wild.
Yeah. So I think we got to shout out some of our listeners, especially if they're still listening right now.
You survived this episode.
Shout out Doctor. I mean, he is to me. He's Colonel. Shout out Colonel Shellnut. Shout out Colonel Shellnut. Shout out Sharon. Sharon, my friend Sharon, great friend Sharon. She suggested a couple. She was like, "Oh, are you taking like suggestions for topics?" Which we are. Comment, share, like, whatever people do. And tell us what you want us to talk about. And Sharon suggested states, car brands, and dog breeds. So we're adding them to the list. So you can hear your topic. Just share it with us. Shout out Smith's Spartans. Shout out Dowell Dolphins. Sorry, Jenna's not a Dolphin. We're not doing Dowell Dolphins. Shout out Smith's Spartans and McKeechern. We know you're listening. We love you. Those are our people right there.
Are they our people?
Well, only the ones that we know about that we know are listening.
They were a part of us once.
Shout out Amanda. Shout out Manders. Shout out Tiff. Shout out Taylor. Shout out Josh Fertitta. Oh, sorry, probably not whole names. Sorry, Josh.
And especially Town Center Mall for putting up with our bullshit for.
Oh, we didn't even talk. Okay, sorry everybody, but we have to talk about that right now because Eric, when I told him these stories, he could not believe it. He thought I was lying. He was like, "Do you have the footage? Do we have the footage?"
If we do, it's
Is it
probably Blevin.
With Blevin?
Because when we moved out of our Walker's Ridge house, like Dad and Raina were like, "Ladies, take your shit. We're downsizing, moving to the mountains."
Shout out to
Blevin. Shout out to Blevin.
Shout out to Blevin.
Always been a big protector of the home videos. So
I hope she has
she would have it.
Maybe we have to go visit her and like because I wouldn't want to ask her to like, look through them, but I would be happy to go. Okay, so let's tell people what we're talking about. What are we talking about, Jenna?
I can't remember if we did this for a psychology class or if that's what started it, but ultimately we got really into making hilarious home videos with like the kind where the little thing, the tape is so small and you have to put in a big VHS adapter to fit into your VCR. I mean, this is old school technology with an old school, my family's camcorder. And we did all kinds of antics with it, which was mostly me behind the camera because I had no nerve like Amy, but Amy did not care. And a lot of it involved the mall because where else were we? So
where else were we going to go?
She would jump in a department store window and pretend to be a mannequin, and I would be filming people's reactions walking by. I think I also filmed that from within a rack at an apartment.
Yes, that's right.
And that's when we were asked by the lady to leave, and I pretended I dropped a ring. I was like, oh, I was just looking at my ring in here. And then we exited the store and just walked the long way around the mall to the next entrance and entered in the mall there and just got right back to it. We would be on the upper floor of the mall looking down over the bottom floor. She would throw a tampon down and just start screaming to people who were walked by, excuse me, sir, I just dropped my tampon. Can you get my tampon? I'm missing this tampon. Which was
We're
horrifying.
really before our time, I think we were before our time.
I mean, what other ones do you remember, Amy? Those are some of the.
I think we did jump out of some racks and scare some people.
You got in the fountain once.
I got in the fountain. Oh my God.
Do you remember that?
I got in the fountain.
I think you scared people when you were pretending to be a mannequin.
That is exactly right. I forgot that I actually got in the mannequin. I would love to find that footage just because Eric was like, I cannot imagine, because he thinks I'm so, like, oh no, don't make anybody upset. I was like, well, me and Genna basically had like an entire series of Jackass videos. I mean, obviously we're not gonna hurt
child. Yes. Yeah.
but it was because in the thing that started it was because we had that psychology class project. And what we did, because of course we're not even editors now, we certainly weren't editors then, like we wanted to do bloopers. So we had like our actual project, and then at the end we wanted to film bloopers. So I threw myself down Jenna's parents' stairs like 3 times.
Knocked out a railing that was never fixed.
Oh shit!
Moving that house, we never prepared that.
I forgot I knocked out that railing. Damn. Oh, that'd be so fun to watch for real.
I'll see what I can do.
Okay. I'll do a visit.
Are you gonna play us out on this outro?
I'm gonna play us out. Thanks for sticking with us, guys. Jenna, I love you. I love you so much.
Like, follow, share, subscribe, and tell us what topic you want to do next week.
Tell us what you want us to talk about. And here we go. Oh wait, let's not make the same mistake twice here. Computer audio. But dang. Here we go. No, wrong. Nope. God damn. All right, well. Okay. Here we go.
So yellow card.
It is.
Taking back Sunday.
It is.
TNT with Angie. Let's discover who we're supposed to be. While chaotic evil spreading misery. Come alive.